while shooting 60% from the field. He also had 17 of 18 from the free throw line as Miami storms back down 8 at the half to beat Boston in game one.
Been one of those all-star players whose contributions can never be measured by points because of all that you do. But are you getting sort of a kick out of these huge offensive nights, 3 40-point games, obviously, in the first 12 playoff games?
Not really. I mean, I think I speak for my teammates in the Miami Heat organization, and I don't do this to score 40 points. I play the way that I play to win, by all means necessary, and it just so happened that I scored 40. But if I score 40 and lose, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Jimmy, when you look at the totality of the rest of the line, though, the 9 rebounds, whatever it was, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, nobody's ever done that with 40 in a playoff game. And then the shrug, I know it doesn't matter, but
So what you're asking me for?
because it has to matter a little bit, or does that show you? Does that further illustrate the type of player that you are? I mean, you always say you're just trying to make the right basketball play. People make them. People just don't make as many of them as you tend to have made in this postseason.
Nope. I have so much trust in my teammates, and I will continue to play that way. I've been a quote-unquote scorer at other points in my career, and it didn't work out too well for me. So I'm glad that I have the guys that I have around me and with me, and I know that they're going to fight and go to war to battle with me every single day. So I'm going to keep trusting them, and I'm going to keep giving them the ball.
Jimmy, why do the biggest stages bring the best out of your game?
Probably because I don't care if it's a big stage or a little stage or who's watching. I do what I do for my family, for my people, for my organization, and for my teammates. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's a big stage, home or away. I know why I do what I do.
To that point, you've always said it's about winning. You don't care about the numbers. Having said that, how confident are you that if the game opens up in a certain way, you can maintain your offensive level throughout this series?
I'm pretty confident. I think I've been putting a lot of work in with Chris Brickley every single night. He's been a blessing to me in my career. That as long as I keep working, I think I can help us win 3 more games in this series, and hopefully 4 more after this one when we get that opportunity.
Jimmy, Coach Spo said you guys are a group that ignites from inspiration. Can you talk about the collective fuel or energy you felt coming into the third quarter right out of the locker room?
It's crazy because he didn't have to say too much.
Not
we
happy
already
with
knew
that?
what we were doing wrong, turning the ball over, not getting back. And so we talked about it, and we came out and I was like, you know what? We're at home. We got to play better basketball. We got to play better as a team. We did that, went on a little run. But this was just a win. It wasn't a really good win like we want to have because we had a lot of lapses for sure mentally. And we can learn from our wins just like we can learn from our losses.
Jimmy, not every third quarter is going to be 39-14, but when the defense is really feeding the offense there, what do you think about that third quarter run can carry over in the future games in the series?
More than anything, it just shows us what we're capable of whenever we worry about getting stops, getting into the open floor, getting to the free throw line, all of those good things. It just reminds me that we can do it. I see it on this piece of paper. I lived it, so I expect us to be able to do that every quarter from here on out.
Hey, Jimmy, kind of piggybacking on that a little bit, Tatum had 6 turnovers in the third quarter himself. You guys obviously were able to control him. How much did the defense spark everything else you guys were able to do in the third?
I've said it all year long. Whenever we let our defense dictate our offense, we're a much better team. We get stops, we get into the open floor, we whip that ball around to our shooters, and that's the style of basketball we call Miami Heat basketball. Gritty, dog-like, worried about getting stops instead of worried about getting buckets.
Jimmy, how much do you enjoy sort of the mental part of the playoffs and preparing for one team that you know you're going to face anywhere from 4 to 7 games, as opposed to maybe the regular season where it's night to night to night?
I think it's a blessing to be able to play basketball at the highest level. Yeah, it's a little bit tougher whenever you got to beat the same group of guys 4 times. But I think we're all really, really blessed to be able to do what we do for a living, and I don't overlook that. But more than anything, I enjoy going to battle with the guys that I got against the Boston Celtics for another 3 wins.
You had those 2 straight passing lane steals in that third quarter, but they were preceded by 2 straight stops from Bam, the block on Brown, and then I think he stripped Tatum. How much does his defense sort of fuel your defense in that regard?
It allows me to be me and so many other people to be themselves too. I've said it all year long, and I mean it. Bam's really the engine behind us, and I don't think stats really say all the numbers and how well of a game that he played, because he sets great screens, he gets everybody open, he's making people pass the ball where we want the ball to go, and you got to pay attention to him on both sides of the floor. So as I've said all year long, he's a big part of what we're doing, and he will be for these next 7 games that we want to win.
Jimmy, on the topic of your back-to-back steals, do you feel in any way that your steals are kind of like shooting in a way where that first one you get, then the second one is kind of you commit fully to the ball? Or how does that kind of work for you personally when you're able to kind of fully go in for that?
I don't know. I tell you right now, Spo doesn't like me. He doesn't like whenever I do it. Luckily, I was 2 for 2 on those particular shoot-the-gap passing lanes, but I don't get them all the time, and then you see him give a look over there, but I feel like I think I can get 10 out of 10. It doesn't always work that way, and it helps us go on a little run.
Jimmy, you said that you don't do this to score 40, but coming into a series like this where you know it's going to be extra physical, do you come out in game 1 looking to get to the line a bunch of times like you did to kind of set a tone?
I like physicality. Like, I want to run into people and see who falls down first, who's going to quit first. I think that's a style of basketball I like to play, and so do they. And, I was 0 for 2 from 3 tonight. I want to go 0 for 0 next game because I just want to keep banging into people.
It seems like after a bunch of those stops, you and PJ were high-fiving and kind of celebrating and things like that. I mean, could you describe sort of, the bond that you guys have formed and what it's like to have him as a teammate?
I didn't know I would fall in love with a basketball player as much as I have with PJ. Seriously, because he just plays incredibly hard, and then he got the tough job every night of guarding the opposing team's best player, and then going down there and shooting the ball 5 times. You gotta respect that, because some guys are like, and I even get like this at times. I'll be like, man, I'm not just going out here to play defense and not go down there and shoot the ball. He never, ever, ever complains, and he's one of the biggest reasons why we're winning, because he does all the little things, and it's easy to follow suit whenever you got somebody like that leading your team.
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, that was